Welcome back to my whiskey pick of the week. You know, I'm Eric the Whiskey Guy, and as always, as usual, and as advertised, am I bringing you a treat this week? And this is a special week for me. In 2 days, it'll be a full year since I started doing whiskey reviews. So I'm excited to hit the 1 year mark, and I thought to myself, let me do something special. So I wanted to go try one of my favorite brands. This week we're going to be trying the 1792 Sweet Wheat. It's one that I never tried before, and 1792 as a whole has been one of my favorite brands. It's been the whiskeys, the bourbons that kind of got me involved in it, and I'm gonna kind of touch on that. So this is, every time I get a 1792, I feel it kind of takes me back to the first time that I took a sip of it and was kind of like, oh, this is some big boy bourbon, this is a big boy drink, this is gonna be my whiskey choice. So I'm excited to dive right into it. Now, as far as how me and 1792 we go back probably about a good 12 years. I was at one of my little local bars where I was a regular. Shout out to the Shot Skis over there in Longwood. I walked in one day and the bartender said that we got a new bourbon. It's called 1792. I was like, oh, let me get a shot of it, because the bar is actually on State Road 1792. So I was like, I might as well do a shot of it. 1792 on 1792. And that was like the first time that I was like, oh my God, what is this? I love it. I went around to liquor stores looking for it. Either the people that worked there never heard of it, or they made it seem like I would have to jump through hoops to get to it, or to get a bottle, just to come to find out that at that same time that I was looking for it, they were kind of going through like a transition. They were going from Ridgemont Reserve to just 1792. So when I was going into the stores, I was like, hey, do you guys got the 1792 Reserve? And they were like, oh, they don't even make a 1792 Reserve. I'm like, yeah, they do. They got it at the bar down the street. So I was going back and forth for a couple years, and I kind of just gave up on it. Nobody had it. And then one day I went in and they started selling the small batch 1792, and I was like, well, I'm looking for the Reserve, and the people in the stores were telling me that it's pretty much the same, and I'm like, but I tried it anyway, and I'm gonna be the one to tell you it's not the same. The Ridgemont Reserve is way better than the small batch. So I've been trying to do it. Every time I see a 1792 or a newer one, or a one I haven't had yet, I try to get my hands on it. As you know, I already did a video with the foolproof. We also did the bottle and bond. So after the Sweet Wheat, I believe it's only a couple of more that I need to have the whole 1792 notch on my belt. I believe they got a single barrel. They have a port finish and a 12 year. So right now I got 3 of them in my cabinet. I just need 3 more to go. I'm really excited about this Sweet Wheat. Anytime that you're dealing with a whiskey or a bourbon that's majority wheat, it seems like there's always going to be a good finish to it. It's always going to be smooth. So the ones that come to mind as far as the videos that I've done, I would say that the Jefferson Aged at the Sea, that's a wheat bourbon. That was very smooth, delightful. I loved it. And then you got some that I haven't did a video for, but I've tried, like the EH Colonels, the Wellers, also the Pappy Family Reserve. Those are some of the notable wheat bourbons. So we're just gonna dive right into it. I can smell it from here. Now, just to give you a little fun fact on 1792, the name, when I first seen it, I thought maybe that was the year that it was created, because kind of like how Remy Martin had the 1738. I thought 1792 was the year that it came out, but it's actually the year that Kentucky became a state in the United States. So the Barton's distillery, in honor of their bluegrass state, Kentucky, which is actually a lovely state. I lived there at one point in time, but that's the year they came out. So they really love their bourbon and whiskey in Kentucky. Oh, it got that. It's always gonna have that Sazerac feel to it. You know, it's one of the heavy hitters. Now that's a smooth bourbon. It's smooth. If I would say this is kind of like, this is right in the middle of the bottle and bond and the foolproof. The foolproof is your cask strength, your extra strength. So that's always gonna be a little bit more potent. You know, you talking 114 proof. I believe this one is 91. Just to double check, 91.2. So it's kind of right there. It got the smoothness of the bottle and bond, but it also got that extra kick like the foolproof. But you can tell that it's down a notch. I was looking at my 1792s that I got. It seemed like I got more bottle and bond than I do foolproof. But does that mean I like the bottle and bond more, or am I just saving, holding on to as much as the foolproof that I got? I don't know, but this is a perfect mixture. I'm kind of like with the Three Little Bears. This one's too warm, too hot, just right. This is right there in the middle. This is one that I would definitely recommend. You can't go wrong. I haven't gone wrong with a 1792 yet. The small batch, I was kind of disappointed, but my expectations were a little high when I first started getting it. Then I kind of just had to come to terms that this is a brand new bottle. This is not the one that I've been looking for 12 years. So if you see it, I would recommend grab it. This is one of those bottles that you don't want to tell yourself, oh, I'll come back next time and get it. If you see it, grab it on site, because I guarantee if you go back in that same store in 3 days, they'll be gone. This is probably one of the most, well, it's a sought after 1792. It's a sought after bottle in general, just because of the bad mash mill on it. So you're looking at a sweet wheat mostly. You can't go wrong with it. So if you see it, grab it. I believe it'll probably come in. It's like an $85 bottle, but you can't go wrong with it. It's putting you, it's taking it up a notch a little bit when it comes to bourbons. A lot of people were so used to the rye that when you taste the wheat, it's like night and day. Now, I prefer a lot of rye because they're just strong. You know, you're gonna get the kick, you're gonna get a nice buzz. But this is more like a smooth, relaxed, sit down, just kind of enjoy your buzz. So it's all about the vibe. So this week, we're coming on 365 days of reviewing bourbons. We doing the sweet wheat. We're gonna do it all again next week. I'm gonna give this one a clean 9 out of 10. Sweet wheat,